This took place back in the early 90s. I grew up in a very small village in Peru, right at the base of a mountain. Life there was simple. Dirt roads, everyone knew everyone. The kids played soccer until the sun went down. Of course, we call it football. That was what I was doing one afternoon. I was by myself, kicking around an old soccer ball in the open field near the edge of the village. I don't recall why I wasn't with my friends that day. After a while, I noticed something I'd never seen before. Surrounding this field was a forest, which we were told to never enter. Prior to this, a young boy was killed by a fer de lance, the most dangerous snake in our country. Jaguars were also known to hunt these woods as well, although they seemed to keep their distance from the village after being shot at many times. After an El Niño hit our village, some of the trees had been uprooted or knocked over. The base of the mountain was now visible from the open field. There was a small, dark opening in the rock face that was once hidden by the bushes and tall grass. It looked like the mouth of a cave. At first, I ignored it, but after an hour, the curiosity started eating away at me. I told myself I would just take a quick look inside. No more than 5 minutes. The moment I stepped past the entrance, the air changed. It became thick and heavy, like I was trying to breathe underwater. My chest felt tight, and I immediately became on edge. There were many small holes and cracks in the rocks above me, so daylight cut through the darkness and lit the way. I kept going deeper, even though every part of me was screaming to turn back. I then saw something. Hanging from tiny ropes were these dolls, dozens of them, crude little figures made of cloth and sticks. Each one had these long, rusty spikes or nails driven straight into the head or neck. Some had multiple. They swayed slightly, even though there was no wind inside this cave. I felt my stomach turn. I had heard stories about the Bruja who were brought here by the Spanish centuries ago. It was said that they were once healers before the horrors of the Inquisition exposed them to the brutality of their own masters. They turned to dark magic in order to punish the conquistadors, but were unable to control it. The elders of my village would tell us that some of them still live in these mountains. It was of course another reason to never venture out into the forest. All the children would eventually dismiss the stories as a fable. Remote villages, especially in South America, all have stories like this. However, from the moment I saw those tiny dolls hanging from the ceiling, I regretted not taking those stories more seriously. I should have ran, but something kept pulling me forward. The tunnel narrowed even more, until I had to duck my head. It was around here that the outside light stopped coming through. However, I saw that the corridor made a sharp turn. From around the next corner, I saw the glow of firelight flickering on the rock walls. I entered to see the light was coming from 2 torches that were mounted on the rock, burning with a low, steady flame. They revealed the full cavern. I saw bones, skeletons embedded into the walls, like they had been pushed inside the rock itself. More hung from the ceiling like ropes, just like the dolls were. Others were stacked in piles on the floor. Some were clearly animal bones, but most of them were human. Some of the skulls were small, like a child's skull. I stared on in absolute horror, unable to breathe. My legs finally listened to me and I turned and ran as fast as I could, scraping my arms and knees on the rocks as I scrambled back toward the entrance. I burst back out into the daylight and didn't stop running until I reached the edge of the village. Before I could make it to my house, there was a neighborhood girl named Valentina. She was around the same age as me. She stepped out from behind a wall and stopped me. She looked concerned and asked me what was wrong. I then told her about the cave, the hanging dolls, and the skulls and bones. While she was standing there, Her eyes rolled into the back of her head until only the whites showed. A deep, demonic voice that definitely wasn't hers came out of her mouth, slow and clear.
If you tell anyone about what you saw, your entire family will perish.
Valentina then collapsed to the ground. A second later, she woke up, confused, asking what happened. I helped her up, mumbled something about her fainting, then ran the rest of the way home without saying another word. I never told anyone else about what I saw. Not my parents, not my friends, not a single soul. I lived the rest of my life in Peru carrying that secret like a stone in my chest. I do remember that when I would return to the open field to play soccer with my friends, I was unable to relocate the cave mouth again. I did try searching for it in that same area, but it was nowhere to be found.